And then Trump, he just timed it so badly. And he didn't know. He didn't know what it would do.
And the conservatives, as Jordan Peterson often talks about, and as Gad Saad, many of my Canadian friends talk about, the Conservative Party in Canada is not really conservative. They're just like a little less wackadoodle lefty, basically. But they had an opportunity because things have been so bad under Trudeau, and that chance is now gone, and that is a huge, huge problem. Now, interestingly, Jordan Peterson, we showed you some other clips of this a week or so ago. He was on Rogan last week, so this is before the election. And listen to this, because Paul LeVay had a huge lead for a while. Everyone, all of the poly markets, all the betting markets really thought the Conservatives were going to win. And that started changing over the last couple days. Here's Peterson talking about how Trump maybe did not understand by going at Canada that it was going to galvanize the left in their country.
They could be the 51st state.
Yeah, that's what happened. So two things.
Yes,
back to that.
That was the big one.
Carney showed up just in the nick of time to save the burning damsel from the train tracks, or whatever the hell it is. And
the rhetoric.
And then Trump, he just timed it so badly. And he didn't know. He didn't know what it would do. He didn't know. But that's also...
How do you not know that people have national pride?
Yeah, he knew that, but he didn't know what the electoral consequences would be. He didn't know that would shift them to the Liberals so radically. And he's going to pay for that, because once Carney is elected, if that happens, Trump will not have a more seasoned enemy in the West.
Boy.
Right? Carney's very well connected, especially in Europe and the UK, very well.
Right, okay, so it's a little hard to do a total like autopsy on this thing at the moment, but I think Jordan, again, that's a week ago, and he basically predicted it right. Like, if Carney is gonna win, which is ultimately what happened, well, now the left is gonna be so look, oh, see, we beat Trump, we beat evil America, we're not gonna be the 51st state, blah, 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 and now we're gonna be in a fight. It seems fairly obvious we will now be in a big fight with Canada. Now, again, maybe this is Trump's, 4D chess. He wanted the Liberal in because it's easier to smack around the Liberal at the end of the day. But we basically got a globalist puppet in charge of Canada. And again, putting aside the politics for a second, I just want to say to anyone that is in Canada right now and you're really depressed, I get it. When I was in California the day after that recall failed, and I thought, I live in a place that is completely incongruent with my beliefs. I live in a place where crime is allowed to happen. I live in a place where illegals are allowed to take over. I live in a place where they can just have mobs, burn down stores for BLM, or if they were forcing people to wear masks or all those things. I know what that hopeless feeling is like. Now, I live in America, where literally the next day, I kid you not, the next day I decided to move to Florida. And 3 months later, I moved 2 companies and a bunch of employees, everyone in this room, and we moved here to the free state of Florida. Now, you guys don't have federalism that way. You have different provinces, and yes, it's a little freer in the western side of Canada than it is in the east. And maybe it's a little better in the rural areas than it is in the cities like Toronto and Montreal. But I just want to say, I'm unbelievably sympathetic. I know what that feeling is, and you have to think about what you want to do. And again, I always tell you, I meet so many snowbirds down here, because this is where all the Canadians come when they want to get out of that tough tundra in the winter, and they come down here, and many, many more of them are staying longer and longer, right? Right now, they would normally be going back, right? Because now you're going to roll into the spring and summer in Canada when it's nice, and a lot of them are staying longer and longer. So I have nothing but sympathy.